On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Finally got some amazing news around Tina Peters. Is probably usually the biggest story that's come up. No war efforts started just yet, but certainly a lot of rumors of plans of Iran escalation. Also, major baddie was smoked over the weekend as well. Got a number of things to talk about, and certainly some stuff with elections. And Trump's got some people that are in his radar right now, and he would like to make sure we get rid of. So hopefully we can help him with that. This is something that's garnering a lot of attention right now. I don't know if you can see it, but it was the calm before the storm. He posted this, Friday, I think? Friday or Saturday, somewhere around there. But he, a lot of people are kind of wondering, is this the post? Is this the one that Q talked about? Who knows, right? The storm is upon us. It was the calm before the storm, which would imply the storm is now here. I kind of think this is maybe the post. It wasn't done on Twitter, probably for a reason, because truth is his platform, right? But here is the news. Colorado's governor commuted Tina Peters' sentence for the role in allowing unauthorized access to her county's election equipment. She could be paroled next month. They commuted, I think, half of her sentence, something to that effect, in which case, supposedly the first, she's supposed to get out. Now, again, fingers crossed, keep her in your prayers. We're not done yet. We've got to get her out of there. But, supposedly the sentence was commuted. Trump did weigh in on it, and he was very happy about it. So that's pretty cool. Free Tina. So finally, we have gotten her out. Here's Marco Rubio talking about today's, day of prayer. Today's the 17th. This is supposed to be happening. I haven't actually had the TV on. It's super busy today. It's been a crazy day, but it's out there, I hope. That said, here's Marco Rubio talking about it. Check this out.
On this day, 2.5 centuries ago, our forefathers gathered for the second time in as many years for a national day of fasting and prayer. The resolution of the Continental Congress called on the 13 colonies to humble themselves in preparation for the coming war. The founders were not naive men. They had no guarantees of victory. They knew that what they were trying to do had never been done before in human history. But with the dark storm clouds of war looming on the horizon, they did what Christians have always done, across place and time for 2,000 years. They turned their eyes to heaven and placed their faith in the hands of God. This is who we are. It is who we have always been. America is still a young nation measured against the record of history. And from the beginning, we have carried the belief that our country represents something new in the world. But the soul of our nation has always been rooted in an ancient faith.
Amen to that. So that is very cool. We've certainly are coming a long ways. I don't think a lot of people truly appreciate how far we've come in truly such a short period of time. Really, if you go back to Trump's original term, right? Look how far we've come. And what is it now, 10 years-ish, basically? It's amazing how far we've come in such a short period of time. When you think about moving an entire nation, moving an entire group of people, and again, we've still got distance to travel, but man, a lot of stuff's happening. USS Gerald R. Ford has finally returned home after its record-breaking 11-month deployment. In fact, we even had Hegseth was there, actually shaking people's hands when they got in. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, Pete Hegseth, to be down there. But obviously, very long, and they're over in Virginia, if anyone's wondering where they port. It is over there. But yeah, Pete Hegseth, I think I've got, I guess I don't know, that's something different. But here's Hegseth, I guess, greeting, the new babies. A whole bunch of babies were born, too, by the way, while these people were out at sea. So, yeah, crazy.
DM1 Auto, your strong energy skills and expanded his expertise. Can't make me home
What's the crazy thing hanging off this dude's uniform? Anyone that knows, feel free to hit me up on Twitter if you don't mind. What is it? At OTF with DRS, at OTF with DRS. Actually, Twitter's probably the only place where I literally generally look at the responses every day. I'm pretty good about responding to people. I don't really check comments on anything because there's a lot of bots. Twitter is not. and it's kind of easy to remove people that are douches, which, by the way, I've not run into as many of those as I thought I would, frankly. But anyways, if anyone can tell me what the hell this thing is, I'd be very curious. I don't have any Navy people I can call really easily right now. But good stuff.
Been rocking the deal.
Yeah, you see a little bit. He loves everyone.
You love everybody?
He does. If he could, yeah, he's from Desiree. It's very nice to meet you.
Dude, Hegseth's just awesome, man. That's all I can say. I don't care what anyone says. I love the dude. Love the dude. I think he's awesome. I think he's doing a fine job. And, proud. Air show happening in Idaho. I guess it was hosted at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. Idaho, first state of Ebonics. Anyways, might be funny to some if you get how stupid it is. That said, it's kind of sad. No one died. 4 people ejected. 4 people are alive. 2 planes collided. I don't know what they are. They almost look Russian, but I'm not quite sure what the hell they are. Anyways, check this out. It's kind of weird. Those are F-18s. Whoops. Dude, they're lucky they didn't actually come down on the fire. Thank goodness. Wow. Yeah, so and it looks like 2 F-18s that hit into. Wow, that was just. Seems like major mistake there. Like that should have not have happened. But yeah, horribly expensive mistake. TMZ founder, he's very pissed off about what's going on here in Los Angeles, and I hope you guys will beg my pardon a little bit. But obviously, this is near and dear to my heart. I don't live in LA, but I certainly live close to it. And California is my home and has been for almost my entire life. I do love this state a lot. I know people are like, it's crazy. This state used to be Republican, by the way, like big time. And it seems to be moving back in that direction. We're going to talk about some of this stuff. But here is Harvey, Levin, talking about his how pissed off he is. And he's got a good reason to be.
I'm not only a born and raised Los Angelino, but I'm second generation. My dad was born and raised in LA. And so this is my life. And I have seen this city just fall apart, over the last, 8, 9 years, but especially the last 4 years. That, the homeless problem is out of control in this city. I've been chased by people, a guy with a hammer, walking out of my gym, he chased me with a hammer. I had a mentally ill woman, a homeless woman, take a boulder and trash my car. And I caught her doing it, and I realized there is nothing I can do. What am I going to do? Get her arrested? I mean, what is that going to do? Am I going to sue her? So I literally looked at my car, watched her walk away, and said, I live in Los Angeles. And, the fires have been an absolute outrage in this city. This didn't have to happen. We had 100 fire trucks that were out of service. The water pressure was messed up, and people lost their homes as a result of bad leadership. And then all of a sudden, people are throwing other people under the bus for no reason. This city operated in an appalling way during the fires. And by the way, it's not over. The insurance companies are screwing people over left and right. I've got a friend, his name is Dan Brunn. He's an amazing architect. He put together a plan with 100 architects to offer their services free of charge to rebuild Altadena and Pacific Palisades. And they had a whole plan. I actually contacted Gavin Newsom, and Newsom.
I remember when you did that. I remember.
And actually put his people in touch with Dan. And they were all in, and they brought it down to the city, which they had to do, and it died a slow death in the city of Los Angeles. So this city is not working.
Was it lost on anybody that this is the dude that's involved with TMZ? He invented TMZ, and he's filming blurred? Like, dude, really? Like, doesn't look like he used a phone because it's not moving. Was it just focus is off? I mean, I do have a DSLR that I use, so maybe. It sometimes can be easy to lose that. I don't know, just curious, but needless to say, yeah, he's pissed. California's Proposition 50 is poised for the Supreme Court reckoning. California's controversial Prop 50 was passed by voters last November as a Democratic countermeasure to Republican-led redistricting efforts in Texas and Florida and others. It is now on a collision course with the Supreme Court. The measure empowered California Democratic-controlled legislature to sideline the state's Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission and redraw congressional districts mid-decade. That commission, created by voters in 2008, was intended to curb partisan manipulation by placing map making in the hands of the independent 14-member panel focused on transparency and fairness. Backers of Prop 50 argued that the move was a political necessity. California, they said, could not unilaterally adhere to the neutral redistricting standards while Republican-controlled states entrenched their own power through aggressive gerrymandering. They literally took over the map making here in California. It wasn't legal. So this map that they created in California will be not legal. It will not be allowed. Now watch what Gavin Newsom will do afterwards. He'll probably use it anyways. Because they are not the party of law and order, are they? No, they don't follow the law. They break it. They'll do whatever they need to do to win. Here's proof. It was never supposed to happen this way. We passed a law back in 2008 to keep them from doing this. Not so much. Newsom says there's a break the glass scenario to ensure Dems move forward in the California gubernatorial race. Another stupid thing that the Dems did in California, because generally the Dems have the top two governor spots, almost always. So they generally and oftentimes will keep Republicans out. Here's a chance where they might actually have two Republicans that take the top two spots. Gavin Newsom, once again, wants to change the rules, wants to change the playing field, wants to move the goalposts because they don't like what's happening. They don't like the fact they're losing control. And if their people aren't even there, they can't cheat to get them in. Oh, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. And I don't know how much cheating typically occurs during primaries. I'm going to assume they're going to pull out all the stops, and that's probably one of the break the glass things he's talking about, even though he's not, admitting it. A high school track athlete has sparked a lot of concern, and it's just a whole bunch of people are pissed. This transgender child competing in women's sports annihilated all the women. Beat them in everything. Triple jump, long jump, high jump, beat them in everything. Handedly. So people kind of boycott him at the podium. People didn't want to stand up there with him. And anyway. Some did, I guess. They're going to end up, I guess, giving gold medals to the runner-ups because of what they did, and they know how much trouble they're going to get in because of this and how unfair it is and how badly this is playing to the press right now. It's fantastic. California sees a massive surge in Republican votes as more than 900,000 ballots have already been turned in. Yeah, they're out in force. And again, early voting, they do it. I'm going to vote day of. But again, this is messing with them because typically day of voting, very heavily Republican typically. But they're actually finding a lot of people doing early voting that are also going in the Republican direction, which is messing with their numbers. This is also one of the largest turnouts we've seen from Republicans in this state. I think it's probably because there's more Republicans, or at least more people that are going to vote that way, self-included. So 41%, minus 13 Democrats, 37% plus 11 Republicans, and then 22% plus 2 independents and others. Hello, I fall into that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. This is a big step in the right direction, and this is going to be fun. I think the election's like early June or something like that. It's coming up very soon for me. I want to remind you guys of Healthy Home. Love these guys, and I don't talk enough about them, unfortunately. Stem cells are one of the best things in our bodies. So stem cells are cells that can become any other cell in the body. And maybe you don't know this, some do. Skin cells, when it's a skin cell, is always a skin cell. It can never become another kind of cell. Muscle cells can't ever become a skin cell. Muscle cells can't ever become a blood vessel cell. They can't ever become blood cells. They can't ever become anything other than they are. Stem cells are like not defined. They're cells that are like ready to become anybody's anybody or anything. So what'll happen is parts of your body are injured, send signals out, and then stem cells come rushing in, and they will repair and replace the places that need new cells. Stem cells, getting that number up in your body is key. And as you age, we don't produce as many stem cells. This does not have stem cells in it. It is plant-based, and it causes your body to produce more stem cells naturally. Generally, stem cells, when you get them, especially if you get surgeries and stuff like that, severe injuries, they will frequently get those from fetuses. So take it for what it's worth, but it does actually make a huge difference. This does nothing of that nature. So they've got it in the pill form, which is what I like. I take 2 a day. Stem Active, they have a gel. It's one pouch, basically. Tear the top off and drink it. Not bad at all. I don't particularly like the gel. It's for me, it's like, because I got to throw the thing away. I'm just kind of lazy, I'll be honest, and pills are so much easier. So I like the pills. I just pop them in my mouth, take a sip, and I'm off to the races. When I use the pouches, I got to tear it off, drink it, and then I got to go throw it away. Again, I'm lazy. That's just how it is. But the pouches are awesome. The gel's an easy way to take it. Some people don't like the gel caps, right? So Prime is amazing. I actually hadn't used it in a while, and I finally ripped one open. I got some, and I'm like, dude, you should be using this stuff. And I did it a day before I was actually going to be reasonably active. And I'm telling you, it's funny how it does give you more energy. It doesn't give you energy. It allows your body to provide more energy naturally. Basically, it helps your blood carry more oxygen. That's exactly what it does. It's a delicious powder. It almost immediately works. It's kind of funny because I swear to God, I can smell it coming out of my skin for like a day or two even after, but it smells kind of sweet. It's interesting. I'm curious if any of you guys have had that experience. But it's awesome. It gives you a lot more energy, and you will for sure see that. Also, balance is huge. This is one that's changing women's lives. Younger girls, soon to be women. Basically, let's put it this way. Baby making years, that's that prime part of a woman's life, I think. I understand it to be anyways. Before they become baby makers and after they lose the baby making abilities, this is a very difficult, challenging time for women, so I understand. Balance is amazing. It's a lotion, plant-based as well. And again, if you're on hormone replacement therapy, I know women that have been using this also, and if you like the hormone replacement and it's working, this is actually filling in the gaps for a lot of people. There's people that didn't like the hormone replacement therapy. They tried the balance, and it was perfect for them. And again, they found this to work well on younger girls as they're heading into the baby-making time of their life, and they're kind of just all out of control hormonally. This product is awesome. And all you do is you just click a little bit and you put it on your wrists, and then you rub your wrists together. Wrists, a lot of blood, and it's transdermal lotion, so it's a great way to soak it in. It's amazing products. You want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com or danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Same thing. Beautiful products, and they will help you stay healthy. And again, it gets you focused on health. Gets you focused on manifesting health, not on sickness, which is how most people view, like, I got to stop being sick. No, that's not how you manifest healing. You manifest healing through imagining health. What's it like to be healthy? Imagine that. This is a product that helps you do that as well. Very good stuff. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Please check it out, and you will definitely enjoy it, and that's for sure. All right, so we've got some funny stuff going on with the Democratic Party in general. So right now they're bleeding revenue. They're not getting as many donations as they're used to. And right now, of all of the different campaign committees and crap like that, there's the DNC is the one that most of us are familiar with. There's also the DSCC and the DCCC. These two are doing fine, I guess. I don't know how much money they generally deal with, but the DNC is in major debt right now. Major debt. In fact, it's got more debt than it has cash. It has supposedly $13.9 million in cash, and at the end of March, and $18.4 million in debt. They're $4.5 million underwater, the DNC. Again, they've lost Act Blue. They've lost Arabella to a large extent. They've lost a lot of these things that they've been utilizing. They've lost it. They can't do it anymore. We're paying attention, and we're investigating Act Blue heavily right now. Donald Trump's got some people he's a little pissed off at, and he's helped turn some things around in races for sure. So he's throwing some congratulations out to one of the people he pushed for, Congresswoman Julia Letlow, on a fantastic race, beating an incumbent senator by record-setting numbers. This is the first time in history that a sitting senator has lost by such large numbers in a primary, unable to even go forward. Julia Letlow is a fantastic person, and after taking care of some additional business, we will make a brilliant senator for the great people of Louisiana. I don't know if it was this guy that lost that was on TV crying. Might have been him, or it might be the other, because there's another individual that also got hosed. I forget what state that is. We'll get there. Tom Massey of Kentucky, the worst and most unreliable Republican congressman in the history of our country, is an even bigger insult to our nation than Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, who suffered an unprecedented loss tonight by not even being allowed to run in the Republican primary. This is the first time such a thing has ever happened to a sitting U.S. senator. That's what you get by voting to impeach an innocent man, especially one who made it possible for Cassidy's Senate win. Very disloyal. But Tom Massey, a major sleazebag, is even worse. Kentucky, get this loser out of politics in Tuesday's election. He is nicknamed Rand Paul Jr., another real beauty, because of his absolutely terrible voting habits. Both vote for Ed Galrain, Ed Galrain, a successful Kentucky farmer, an American war hero who only ran because he thought that Massey was so disloyal and disrespectful to your president, me. This is a great man, central casting, in fact, who truly deserves to represent the fantastic people of Kentucky, a commonwealth that I am proud to have won all 3 times in record fashion. Ed will never let you down. Make America great again, folks. Kentuckians especially. Y'all, please, man, make this election count, please. Send a message, especially to those bastards in Kentucky. No offense. There's one good guy there. Drawing a blank on his name, the white hair guy, whatever his name is, if he's from Kentucky. Good guy. Is anyone, I think everyone else there, who knows? There might be some other House members, but Rand Paul's there. We've also got, obviously, Tom Massey, and just doucheholes. So Donald Trump posted this as well. He's pissed off also now at Lauren Boebert, which is cool. Is anyone interested in running against weak-minded Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 4th Congressional District? You remember Lauren moved to the district when it became obvious that she couldn't win in her original congressional district, the 3rd, a carpetbagger indeed. Boebert is campaigning for the worst Republican congressman in the history of our country, Thomas Massey, of the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. And anybody who can be that dumb deserves a good primary fight. Even though I long ago endorsed Boebert, if the right person came along, it would be my honor to withdraw that endorsement and endorse a good and proper alternative. Just let me know or announce your candidacy, and I will be there for you. President Donald J. Trump. That is the biggest smack on Lauren Boebert ever. Now, what's she going to do? Is she going to turn against Trump? If she does, she's going to lose all support. And we just need to get somebody to run over there. So if you guys are a 3rd district, you know anybody that's got, well, some charisma, that's what it really takes ultimately, then maybe talk them into it, right? We might need some help there. Donald Trump also posted, word is that Rand Paul and Lauren Boebert, 2 very difficult and highly unreasonable Republican votes, are right now in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, which I won by 31 points, parading around like fools for the worst Republican congressman in the history of our party. His name is Thomas Massey, and he is a disloyal, ungracious, and sanctimonious fool who almost never votes for even the best of Republican values. The man running against Massey, Ed Galrain, is a true American patriot. We've said it a bunch, but he's beating up on him, and it's too much fun to not enjoy that. Trump is really pissed off at Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul's got a major train strike, a railroad strike going on. Has to do with the negotiations that they were doing. And she blamed Trump when the strike was announced. And Trump just said, screw you. Said failed New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat, just blamed me for her Long Island Railroad strike when she knows full well that I have nothing to do with it. Never even heard about it until this morning. She just blurted it out. It's President Trump's fault. No, Kathy, it's your fault. And now looking over the facts, you should not have allowed this to happen. If you can't solve it, let me know, and I'll show you how to properly get things done. This would be an easy one for Bruce Blakeman. He should be your next governor in New York State, would turn around fast, including far less crime and much lower taxes. Kathy, call me if you can't do it. I'll get it done. I know all the players. Great people. And she's a freaking horrible person. Democrats are devastated right now after the Supreme Court rejected their attempt to revive the Virginia congressional map. I believe I mentioned this already on my Friday show, but yeah, they're freaking out about this. This is literally driving the Democrats crazy. I don't think the stuff, so many people have said that, he's drawing a blank on this dude's name, Hakeem Jeffries. He's pissed. I mean, he is, but I don't think he's freaking out like everyone's kind of said. California wildfire risks prompt officials to cut power for thousands. This is how California deals with fires and stuff, by the way. They just cut power because the power lines are what they always blame for the fires. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they don't actually take care of anything. We don't have any water, any stuff like that, But, up, I guess, in Northern California, they're having some issues, and they were threatening to shut power off. I don't know if they did or not. It's a little outside of my preview, if you will. DHS is going to push ahead with plans to convert warehouses into ICE detention centers. It's a neat idea. Obviously, if anybody finds out, they probably start protesting. We'll figure out how that all plays out. I'm sure they're going to try to do it tight-lipped, or even have non-disclosure agreements with the people that they're signing leases with. But we'll see. People will leak stuff. We'll find out. Mark Wayne Mullen talking about a pretty interesting statistic here that might upset a few people.
The programs is where we have local law enforcement that partner with federal to get these criminals off the streets like this. And you just use Fairfax, Virginia, for example. Roughly 50% of the murders in Fairfax, Virginia is the perps are illegal, shouldn't even be in the country to begin with. That's just in Fairfax. You think about what's happening in Virginia. When you make Virginia a sanctuary city, you encourage more illegal activities. This individual right here that we just arrested, this is his third time to be deported. He self-deported once. He was deported again. He snuck back across. He's living back here in this country again with a history of criminal activity. This shouldn't be happening in our streets in our neighborhoods.
Hopefully I can fix that. That was really quiet on my end, so I should be able to fix that, though, after, I hope. Fingers crossed. Ken Paxton forces Texas Children's Hospital to open up first-of-its-kind D-Trans clinic. Fired woke doctors, and they're going to pay back $10 million in billing Medicaid for child sex changes. That's some pretty serious deal that he made there. It's pretty good. $10 million settlement case against Texas Children's Hospital over illegal sex changes in the form of surgeries and prescriptions being given to minors. This is huge. We've also got parental rights outrage. Illinois mother sues school district. Alleges officials secretly socially transitioned child after mental health crisis. We'll see how this lawsuit plays out, but this kind of stuff is illegal. And it's happening all over the place. And you've got groomers that are gravitating to schools. It's just like in the Catholic Church, a lot of homosexuals gravitate towards being priests. It's not uncommon. There are a lot of gay priests, right? And one thing leads to another, it seems. Same thing happens when you put the wrong people into children-facing positions. Pedophiles will gravitate to those positions. Yes, there are sometimes good people that love to teach and love being teachers, but unfortunately, I think we're seeing there's a lot of people that are not that way. And I don't know, no offense, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a stereotype, but generally speaking, teachers aren't usually dudes. I'd always kind of, my best friend, this guy, I've showed his picture before. He's dead now, but my buddy, he was a teacher. He was actually graduated as an engineer and was going to become an engineer, and they said, no, you get 3 months off a year. And he's like, where do I sign up? I think he got paid like $5,000 less than he was going to sign for the engineering job, but he wouldn't have to work, 50 weeks a year. So he's like, yeah, I love it. So he loved being a teacher. He loved it. And they never once gave me the creepy vibe when it came to kids or anything like that. But, statistically speaking, you're going to run into a lot of weirdness when you start looking at that. We've got a Kansas judge that is blocking a ban on sex change treatments for transgender kids. Claims it violates state constitution and parental rights. What's interesting about this is there's 2 children that are involved in this case, and they are of the same parents. Both of these 2 transitioning children, the same parents, have both transitioning children. I wish we had a picture of them. But one of them's got a septum piercing. LGBT Pride Festival was canceled. I haven't watched this. I hope it's worth it. We'll see.
Was canceled just hours before it was set to begin tonight. City officials say event organizers failed to submit the required safety documentation, leaving them without a permit for the festival this year.
John Fenolio is live in Long Beach with the latest on what happened and what it means for the Sunday Pride Parade. John?
Yeah, Cher and Mike, this Pride Festival was expected to draw thousands of people to downtown Long Beach this weekend, but as you can see behind me, the stages are quiet, the vendors have packed up, and many attendees are asking how a major event like this could fall apart on opening day.
There's nobody here.
Steve and his friends drove all the way from the Inland Empire for this weekend's Long Beach Pride Festival.
We heard last minute that it got canceled, and kind of really surprised. We were watching it on like live on our TV, on the TV from our hotel room. So we were like, "What's going on?"
Canceled at the last minute, catching many off guard. Are you just now finding out?
Yeah, so we just came from the parking lot. We parked our cars, and then boom.
The city of Long Beach issuing a lengthy statement claiming festival organizers repeatedly failed to provide the required documentation needed to complete public safety inspections and issue permits.
It's really disappointing. We were looking forward to it all week, but no. Couldn't happen.
The president of the Pride Festival, Tanya Martin, issuing her own statement, calling on the city and the mayor to work with the event to find a path forward, but stopping short of addressing permitting and safety. The festival has long been a major economic boost for the area, drawing visitors from across Southern California and beyond. For many, the sudden cancellation feels personal.
We'll go to 2nd Street because there's not much else we could do.
Man, I just hope to see it next year.
So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of worth sharing the story because I think if you're anything like me as well, like you're maybe happy to see some of this stuff is, because of karmic reasons, it would seem, is not happening. The deep state is losing control. The crazy progressive agenda is losing control. Another example of that, Jen Psaki made some pretty crazy claims about Eric Trump. Eric Trump is now saying on X, he's like, yeah, I intend to sue Psaki and US Now. And in his statement, which I think I got here pulled up, he says, I intend to sue JR, Psaki, and MS Now News over the below clip. To be clear, contrary to her monologue and blatant lies, I have never been on the board of Alt 5, not now, not ever. Any person with basic access to Google and willing to open a company's annual report or proxy statements would know this. I have had zero involvement in any merger discussions involving any public entity I do not run or control. I have zero business interest in China, no properties, no investments, nothing. I joined this trip for one reason, as a loving son who adores my father and wouldn't miss being by his side for this incredible moment. During the bilateral talks, Laura Lee Trump and I went to the Great Wall of China. So, more to come, he says. We'll see. I look forward to hearing more of that because it's just ridiculous. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro is going after parents of all these Washington street takeovers. Love it. Check it out.
And as we grapple with this problem, there is one area that hasn't been discussed. Parental involvement has been a noted gap in any discussion. And I am here to say, as the United States Attorney in the District of Columbia, that ends today. Starting today, my office will aggressively prosecute parents under D.C.'s curfew law, and the specific statute that we will use is a violation of D.C. Code 22-811, and it involves contributing to the delinquency of a minor. This statute makes it unlawful for an adult to enable, facilitate, or permit a minor to engage in delinquent acts. The penalty is up to 6 months imprisonment. So if the evidence shows the parent knew, or should have known, or permitted, or failed to prevent participation, we're going to charge them. And if you drop your kid off and you fail to supervise them, or you let them skip school to join the chaos, you are going to face fines, court-ordered classes, and possible jail time. Penalties can be imposed even if the juvenile minor is not prosecuted. So a parent commits this offense if they permit or by insufficient control allow a minor under the age of 18 to violate a curfew. Now, we're going to be asking the Metropolitan Police Department to issue parental citations whenever a minor's curfew violation is tied to a takeover. We will seek to pair these citations with mandatory parental notification and court-mandated parental classes or family counseling as a condition of the resolution of the case.
It kind of ended abruptly, but yes, exactly. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Again, how many of these kids maybe have illegal parents, right? I mean, how many of these kids maybe don't even have parents? Maybe they're just, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. But that is a great way to curb behavior like that, right? You probably have heard this. I feel like I played it back in the day, but for whatever reason, it's popping back up. And I assume the SCOTUS response or the SCOTUS answer, what is it, when they rule, the ruling, I guess, the SCOTUS is ruling on voter day and receiving ballots after election day. I think they're preparing for this to come out, and I think they're preparing us and the public. This is going to possibly cause riots. I can't wait to see how this is going to cause the Democrats to lose their shit. It's going to be awesome.
Day, George Washington's birth. We have lots of phrases that involve two words, the second of which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington's birthday, Independence Day, birthday, and Election Day. And they're all particular days. So if we start with that, if I have nothing more to look at than the phrase Election Day, I think this is the day in which everything is going to take place. Or almost everything. And then we have 3 points in time, 1844, 1872, 1914. And we can ask, what would people have thought on those days is meant by this phrase, Election Day? Which of those should we choose? Which of those dates should we choose?
Well, I think you could choose any of the three. I mean, honestly, I think the single best one, if you're just going to choose one, is 1872. And the reason I say that is because 1914 is the latest in time, but that's the one that Congress gave the least thought to.
Yeah, there's still. It's going to be interesting. Birthday. It's a day. That's why it's got day in it. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas Day. It's it's going to be fun. Again, this is going to get interesting. We had a massive, nasty fire. Apparently, it started in a silo that had wood chips in it. It was at a lumber mill or something, some sort of lumber processing area out in Searsmont, Maine. Cause of the blast is under investigation. No one really knows for sure. It has injured a bunch of firefighters. It damaged a bunch of fire trucks. This is going to basically be extraordinarily expensive. Fire trucks are very, very expensive, first off, and to have to repair and or replace, depending on how severe it was. Also, I think there's one fire member that, at least at the time of this recording, was critical. I don't think he passed yet, but yeah, somebody got hurt really, really, really badly. It was a fireman. So red line, again, I have firefighters in my family, and this is always near and dear and special to me. Right? It's actually something I wanted to be when I was younger. I wanted to be a firefighter really bad. And again, it's one of those things that growing up, I realized being a white guy made that really difficult. Because it's that white privilege I've been living with my whole life. It's fantastic. So many career choices I couldn't choose. AG Todd Blanche just dropped a bombshell confirming the DOJ has multiple active 2020 election fraud investigations in Georgia and Arizona. He says, quote, "We're very focused on finding out whether the right people voted, whether people that were supposed to vote voted, whether there was one vote cast per voter." Continuing the quote, "There's a ton of evidence that the election was rigged. That's not something the DOJ needs to tell you about. There's been evidence about that for many, many years. That's what we're doing in multiple states. You'll say to me, how long has it taken? Why is it taking so long? The reality of the answer is because it takes a lot of work to uncover what happened in 2020. It takes a lot of good old-fashioned law enforcement police work, which is what we're doing. We have great prosecutors working on it as well. I assure the American people that as soon as we have something to say for it, whether it's charges, whether it's a report, whether it's a result of an investigation, the American people will learn about what we've uncovered." This is all coming up. So when Trump does his executive order, because of infiltration by other companies, other countries, the electronic systems are way hackable. Passwords are floating around. There's just no way. They're attached to the internet, and they said they weren't. Just gobs of stuff. There's so many things that they're going to hit this with at one time and just be like, here is all the stuff we know. This is what happened. I don't even think they're necessarily going to come at it from the standpoint of the deep state internally was rigging elections. There'll be some of that, you know. They'll have proof in Georgia of the ladies that fed all the ballots, which are the ones that sued Rudy Giuliani, by the way. So that will be beautiful to see those two ladies get their comeuppance. They were greedy and went for the money because somebody said, hey, let's sue Rudy. I bet you we'll get a judge that'll let you guys win. Okay. You go, girl. Yeah. Sorry. I ain't going to play like that. So a lot of stuff's going to come out, but ultimately I think they're going to come at it from a standpoint of the system can't be done the way it is. We're not doing mail-in ballots because China cheated there big time. They had registrations in all sorts of states. They did it in many, many, many states. And I'm sure when that comes out, they're going to be like, they did it in all 50 states. So mail-in ballots, no. Electric voting systems, we were being hacked by Venezuela. We're being hacked by these people, that people, and everyone else. No. We're going to a paper ballot. We're going to have one secure election because of how many people are trying to mess with this. And then they're going to prove that Trump won 2020. That's going to create a whole weirdness. Because, you know, some are going to say, well, then he should be able to redo it. Okay. I mean, I honestly don't think that has any legal bearing. I think it's kind of a silly argument. It sounds more like, you know, you screwed me over, so you cheated on me, so I get to cheat on you. And it just seems like a goofy way to kind of go about it. But, I mean, would that be a legal reason for him to maybe serve one more term? So many things are happening. The timing of it is intentional. The timing of it is perfect. The timing of it will occur exactly as it is. For any of you guys out there that are currently going, it's not happening fast enough, I'm going to tell you to your face, you need to stop thinking you know better. I don't care who you are. I don't care what credentials you have. I don't care what you once used to be. You are not currently holding the information that the man at the top is. So I don't give a shit about anybody's opinion when it comes to, here's what he should do. He's wrong. This isn't happening fast enough. Says who? Now, I get it. It's rates, it's clicks, it's all that fun stuff. I totally get it, you know. It's insanity, but I get it. Todd Blanche says everything is about to be made public as the DOJ probes Russiagate conspiracy. This also has to come out. Think about all of the... the word disclosure to me, a lot of people always assume that, and we've got some cool woo news when it comes to UFO stuff at the end of the show, but everybody thinks disclosure is about UFOs. No. Dude, so many things need to be disclosed to us. It's not even, yeah, there's UFOs and aliens and shit. Totally. Yeah, we've got some amazing technologies. Totally. Yeah, they can totally spy on you everywhere. And all this bullshit, the Russiagate, the way they've been controlling us, the lies they've baked into stuff, and eventually religions will be brought to the forefront as well, folks. Be prepared. The most religious of you are the ones that are going to have a hard time with this coming truth, unfortunately. And again, there's beautiful things. There is a God. And Jesus was very much a person and a real individual. There is all of those things going on. Our understanding of it has been heavily perverted in a very opposite of what Jesus actually taught kind of way, by the way. That's one of the things that's roughest about this. What he taught us was magnificent. It bothers me so much. The symbology of it, even. We symbolize because of the crucifixion. We remember the death, the worst thing. Everyone celebrates it like he opened the gates of heaven, so they tell you. But Jesus ran around and taught and did all sorts of amazing stuff while he was alive. His life was amazing. The best I've been able to find information on. He was an amazing individual. And he had emotions, and he got angry sometimes, and yes. But we celebrate his death. They killed him. They were the ones who murdered him. And we celebrate his death. That's the image we remember. To me, that's kind of not right, but, you know, I shouldn't, yeah. Hopefully you guys don't hate me too much for saying that, but it is the truth.
We're finding out some incredibly troubling things, and at some point at the right time, that will be made public, and the American people will see exactly what happened to this administration and President Trump over the past decade.
Well, I mean, the country was ripped apart. We all know that. Half of the country said he colluded with Russia. The other half said, no, it didn't. I mean, it ripped the country apart. But you say when the time is right. When is the time right? When should we expect these charges of conspiracy?
Well, I mean, look, as has been publicly reported, the Southern District of Florida has an open criminal investigation. That involves hundreds of subpoenas. It involves hundreds of witnesses. And so as far as timing and when we can expect it, we are working hard and we are working efficiently, but we are going to do it right. We are not going to rush something that isn't ready. We're not going to reach a conclusion before our investigation is over. But I assure you, and I assure the American people, that we are completely focused on it.
Okay, well, I don't know what is not ready. I mean, you know, we've been watching this play out for a long time, and viewers and people watching are frustrated because it just keeps happening. Weaponization keeps happening because it's not corrected the time before. Now,
this is the first time I've ever actually flipped off Maria Bartiromo, and normally I would think that's kind of uncouth, but again, it just goes back to what I was just saying 4 seconds ago. It's like, really? Really? Like, who are you to decide how fast this should go? Shut the fuck up. Ask questions. I'm so frustrated with people. And it's the ones that have the biggest sticks right now. I know a lot of us are kind of replacing them, so this transition's happening. And again, for those of you guys that are on the right side of things and have been maintaining, keep doing it, even in spite of the fact that when success comes, a lot of things start to change in your life in major ways. And a lot of you guys probably haven't thought about it, by the way. Some do, maybe, some don't. Most people chase something, and then when they get it, or the ego portion of it becomes so strong that you start to like lose sight of yourself. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's all I can say. Marco Rubio says he will support J.D. Vance in 2028, pledges to be the first person to endorse him. He's basically saying, look, I'm going to do this job for the next 2.5 years. This is his quote. I'm going to do this job. I'm going to finish the job for this president. I'm enjoying it very much. I think we're going to make a lot of good things happen. JD is a very good friend of mine. If JD runs for president, I think he'd be a phenomenal candidate. I've said publicly, and I'll say it again, I'll be the first person to sign up and support him. I think JD would do great. So right there, a lot of people are like, wait, I thought Marco and JD were going to run. See, this is, let's let Trump fix the stuff first. And let's, seriously, if you're focused on who's going to run for president, you are so fucking off the reservation right now. Like, you need to come on back. You've lost yourself. We have an election coming up this year that's going to be very important. We have primaries happening right now that are extraordinarily important. It is time to handle what's in front of us and worry about 6 months from now or longer, later. We'll deal with it later. We have to have our best game. We have to be focused on what we're doing right now. We have to. We have to. Or we will drop the ball. This is the most critical time. All of it's been critical. You know, it's a critical period. There's going to be a number of huge games. Mostly victories. We are going to have some setbacks here and there. We have to learn to deal with that too. Senate parliamentarian. She is, again, we're dealing with this weird organization. Senate parliamentarians, another example of that unilaterally struck down Trump's security for the ballroom. That's got to go through a regular 60-person vote. No Democrats are going to approve putting security. I don't know. You know, it'd be kind of stupid if they didn't. Because the ballroom's getting built anyway. They can't stop it, so we're not going to put security in it? You're the fuckers that are going to die then. It's, again, anything that Trump wants. Whew, I got to calm down.
All of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished,
I'll be honest. Considering what I would hope, like if I was just to imagine shit we possibly have or abilities we have, like I would assume that it's like $1 billion. Like really? Like that's all? That's all you need for like all the security and the crazy elevator that's going to drop down to the wherever? Or does that come through the military? Or how's that who knows, right? How that plays out. But it's just like $1 billion only? It's a pretty big building, and it matters a lot. And they're going to have some of the most biggest dignitaries in the world there. Yet, only $1 billion in security? That seems so strange to me. So very strange to me. New Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's job is probably impossible. And many think he's the one that's supposed to help with this collapse, this restructuring, this finding out of the truth. And ultimately, that's one of the things that needs to kind of happen. We need to find out the truth. We need to actually see that play out before our eyes. And I think when we do, and when somebody can truly go back to Trump and say, hey, here's what's going on, they will actually be able to fix the problem, won't they? So, yeah, his job's going to be tricky. That's for sure. But we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, markets aren't open right now. Crude's sitting at 105.66. I don't think the futures for it are even accurate, but it's probably going to go up. The expectation of more war against Iran is definitely happening. So we'll see that play out. So be careful. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, one of the things that you might want to consider doing is protecting that buying power, protecting that wealth. And one of the ways you can do that is by moving that money into precious metals. You can do it tax-free, penalty-free with my good friends. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Move it over, tax-free, penalty-free. Get yourself some precious metals, which they do. It's physical metals. They're yours. You've got your name on it. You can actually get them sent to you at some point, but that's considered payment. And if you do it early, you're going to get penalized, and that can hurt. So keep those things in mind. You want to kind of keep it in precious because when we finally move to a new system and or abolish taxes, when we move to that new system, it's going to be backed by precious metals. You're already going to be one step there. So go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Move that money tax-free, penalty-free. Get up to 10% free silver. Free silver, yeah. Check that out. That's actually what's kind of the multiplier is going to kick in on. I think it's sitting right now. What's the silver sitting at right now? We've got it. It's sitting right now at 76, which is awesome because it's probably going to go down more because the price of oil is going to go up. You watch. It makes mining more difficult. So that's great. This is a better time to buy. This is the best time to buy because the second this war with Iran and all this nonsense is over, the price of oil is going to fall down to about 50. The price of gold and silver is going to go through the roof, and the Fed is going to come tumbling down. Be ahead of that because if you wait too long, they're going to start putting limits on how much you can liquidate. They're already sort of starting to do it in certain places. Be on the lookout. Don't fall for that. Get out while you can. Get some of it out anyways while you can. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that silly system while you can. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to suck pretty badly. We've got another lab that's been exposed, I guess. It's here in America, by the way. They got monkeys. They're getting them some crazy-ass African monkeys, and they're giving them some weird, what is the sickness that had? I forget what it was, some crazy-ass horrible thing. And this monkey, I guess, had this sickness, and this is why they study him, and they try to get him to spread, right? And monkeys are similar, I guess. A BSL-4 lab. I mean, it was a pretty heavy-duty lab. But this was, here it is, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever virus. Why are they messing with stuff like this? Anyway, they gave it to this monkey. And this monkey bit one of the people that worked there. And then who knows if they spread it? They might have. Who knows? I mean, we don't know. Anyway, I'm not trying to freak you out, but they're still doing this kind of stuff. Obviously, someone's getting a phone call, I'm pretty sure. Donald Trump truth this out. Good riddance after 15 years of Democrats promising the climate change. I don't know if I told you guys about this RCP 8.5 retraction, this story. I did mention the story. It was a couple of weeks ago. But Trump brought it up, so I'm bringing it up again, too. Just want to make sure. I don't want you guys to think I didn't talk about it. Some of you are maybe new to the channel. Please subscribe and thumbs up if you don't mind. After 15 years of Democrats promising the climate change is going to destroy the planet, the United Nations Top Climate Committee just admitted that its own projections, RCP 8.5, were wrong. For far too long, climate activism has been used by Democrats to scare Americans, push horrible energy policies, and fund billions into their bogus research programs. Unlike the Democrats, who use climate alarmism nonsense to push their Green New scam, my administration will always be based on truth, science, and fact. President Donald J. Trump. U.S. Coast Guard sniper took out 3 narco-terrorist vessels. I guess they tried to fire some warning shots, and I don't know if this pictures them actually burnt, or if they just destroyed them after the effect, maybe. Whatever the case is, he was shooting, I don't know if he shot out the engines or something. But the sniper somehow disabled these boats, and then they were able to deal with them. So I don't think they sniped the individuals. I assume they arrested them. It made it sound like they did. Yeah, the 3 suspected smuggling vessels launched 2 small boats, deployed Coast Guard helicopter. 1 vessel was non-compliant and required aerial use of force. That's called shooting guns. So yeah, there we go. Prime Minister Carney up in Canada strikes agreement for Alberta pipeline. Trying to make a little deal with Alberta as they're trying to become our 51st state, and they don't like that. That would be pretty embarrassing to Canada. I mean, a lot of other Canadians would want to totally join. They'd either like, can we move there then? We don't want to be, I mean, Canada would collapse. Alberta would become the most heavily populated Canadian province, or the most heavily populated 51st state that we would have. It's pretty awesome. Apparently, communist Cuba, they've been stockpiling drones. Apparently, they're afraid that we're going to run in and attack them. So they've managed to acquire 300 Shahed-style drones. As the rumor I've heard. I don't know if that's actually true. It's Axios reporting it, so you know it's fucking not true. But supposedly they got a bunch of drones. Okay. That's not very many, by the way. When you got Ukraine launching like hundreds of these things, and Russia just sent 1,500 missiles and drones, like 300? That really? Okay. All right. I mean, that's a lot, I guess, if you like assaulted one ship, but they can't attack like helicopters and shit. Like, if we came in with jets and stuff like that, I don't think it's a big damn deal. Frankly, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm putting down and picking up myself. Trump announces flawless joint U.S.-Nigeria raid eliminated ISIS global number 2, Abu Bilal al-Manuki. Always the crazy-ass names. Abu Bilal al-Manuki. Anyway, he was a really bad dude. One of the biggest guys with terrorizes people all over Africa. Planned attacks. Nigeria's in Africa, for those that maybe didn't know. I looked it up just so I wanted to make sure exactly where it was. I think it's kind of close to Somalia, but I couldn't see it I couldn't see Somalia on the map, so I was like, I don't know where. It's too small a map. Anyway, doesn't matter. Somewhere over in that. It's like right in the middle. Anyways, right above the equator, frankly. Pentagon has been blindsided, they say, as Hegseth pulls the plug on 4,000 troop deployment to Poland. Nope, not going there. And supposedly we're bringing a bunch of crap back from there. We did send some equipment already, which makes me wonder if we're just going to move that over to somewhere else that makes more sense. But protecting Poland from the invariable invasion of Russia, it's just over this long. Well, it wouldn't happen that way. You would never do that anymore. And I think that's one of the things that Trump was totally aware of too. We all got missiles and shit. Like we're not gonna roll a bunch of tanks into they'd get annihilated. Can't do that. Nah, shit ain't happening. Coup against UK PM Starmer progresses. His biggest rival's been approved for his attempted at paramilitary comeback. So we'll see what happens here. I don't know. Keir Starmer does not want to step down. He's trying to do all this crazy shit before he steps out. He is as lame duck as they get, and he's always been lame. So, and he's always been Starmer too. So you never know with him. We got Elon Musk here talking about a little bit of a message to Britain, and it sounds like England is sounds like they're maybe going into a very heavy moment of their own history. I mean, again, you got to think, it's like they've controlled the entire world, but they also control their own population as well. This monarchy nonsense. This probably be the end of kings and queens, which might be interesting. But needless to say, Elon Musk had something cool to say in this big picture. Check it out.
Absolutely. If the fight comes to you, you don't have a choice. You have to fight. So you have to rally all of the people of Britain to fight for the future.
Let me ask
and if this doesn't happen, there won't be a future.
Are you ready to fight for your future, Britain?
Fight for your future! Do it! Go!
Will we be gagged any longer, Britain?
See? Can't tell if he's mad or not. Never. He's smiling and shit. It's like, what? Anyway, no, they're obviously pissed. And that's that dude. They actually threatened him. I forget his name. The guy that... the guy that's in there with him that was talking to Elon. He is someone that they literally threatened. The people were chanting that they were going to put a bullet in his neck, like the Charlie Kirk thing. It was really crazy. It's like, what is going on here? Here it is. Leftists and Islamists are chanting in London to assassinate Tommy Robinson. I think that's who that dude was. So this is just insane. I'm not going to play it because it's just crazy. But yeah, it's crazy what's happening right now. Secure digital insurance for maritime cargo apparently Iran has created this online portal where you can pay them in Bitcoin to get through the strait. That'd be very interesting. This is probably partially why the United States has some Bitcoin, is so you can do some stuff with it. Otherwise you can't. So you kind of got to have some poker chips to sit down at the table, if you know what I mean. Trump's delivering clear warning to Iran as the U.S. begins intense preparations for potential resumption of attacks. This is the New York Times that's now floating a bullshit story. Something's obviously going to happen. They don't have any information. I'm almost sure of it. Maybe Israel's leaking something. They might be planning, but everybody is pretty sure that an attack is coming. I don't think there's a person on the planet I don't think there's anyone within our circles anyways that doesn't realize something has to happen. Now, what I am wondering and thinking, we just sent another marine amphibious carrier out there. I think Carg Island could be on the radar. And I don't know if some of that is to try to draw out some of the nonsense, but they would have missile attacks. We would have to get some very solid defense in place because they would attack it, but it's their own oil facilities, so maybe they wouldn't. But I kind of think that might be a direction. If we took control of that, or at least made it impossible for them to have control of it, that would change everything in Iran. Everything. We could also start loading ships with oil, but we get the money now. Not them. We'll see what happens. Things are getting interesting. Apparently, Iran seized a ship loaded with weapons. It's a security... So they got these ships, I guess, in some of these different Gulf areas where if boats need, like ships that are traversing, need security abilities, they might be able to borrow, loan, whatever, buy these weapons, and this ship is kind of running around giving them weapons if they need them or whatever, renting them. I don't know how it works exactly, but it's to that effect. So it's probably mostly small arms. I doubt you got any like major artillery or armament inside this ship, but probably a bunch of small arms and ammo. So supposedly Iran stole this. I mean, okay, we'll see what you did and where you did, and maybe we're going to wait for that to get back to port, and then we'll hit it. I mean, we'll see what happens. And I'm wondering, too, if they're trying to steal ships so they can put more oil in ships. I think we're seeing some of that happening right now. So a lot of stuff, it's getting prepared for Iran. It's going to step to the next level, whatever that is. Trump's got everyone thinking in one direction. I don't think he's going to do it that way. I do think he's going to knock out a bunch of stuff, but I don't think he's going to take out their oil production. I don't think he's going to knock all their electricity out. Maybe. That creates a huge problem, but I think he's going to knock out some specific electricity places that for sure are powering parts of the regime, like the IRGC, like anything that's powering them. They'll probably take it out, which will cause a huge problem for the grid. It'll be interesting. U.S. Central Command Chief Admiral Brad Cooper said no resource or equipment were flowing from Iran to its regional allied group, meaning they're saying that they had all these different avenues of sending oil and stuff. Now, he's like, no, they're not. Anyone that's saying otherwise, it's not true. And if they had pipelines that were being utilized, they could have damaged them. I mean, so unlikely that those stories are true. FBI is offering a $200,000 reward to catch a former U.S. Air Force specialist who is, been busted in a spying case. She defected back in 2013. She worked with the military. Her name was Monica Witt. And anyway, they're trying to offer some money to catch her. I guess I got some pictures of her here. But yeah, she was Persian, or is Persian, and yeah, stole a bunch of stuff and then went back to her country. Thanks. U.S. is dangling a $15 million reward for new intel on Iran's drone network. I think they're trying to understand it a little better, and they're offering a bunch of money because they know people will sell out their country for a bunch of money. So yeah, if they can understand the drones, the network, the frequencies, a bunch of stuff like that, where they're making them, things along those lines, then and probably even the external stuff in other countries, we'll get it. It's funny what money does. It's funny what money does. Iranian drone strike on the UAE ignites a fire near a nuclear plant. Supposedly no radiation leak, but they are attacking UAE even stronger. Supposedly UAE did some attacks back, yada, yada. This is just bringing some other people into the game and certainly is not going to help Iran at all. Deadlocked at square zero. The very first line of Iran's latest proposal, Trump said was unacceptable. He said just line one, he was done. President Trump told reporters on Air Force One while departing Beijing that even the very first sentence of Iran's latest proposal was unacceptable and blamed the Iranians for backtracking on the nuclear issue. The first sentence was an unacceptable sentence because they have fully agreed to no nuclear, and if they have any nuclear of any form, I don't read the rest. So that's period. So, no, this is unacceptable, and that's that. And I assume he sent it back to him, and we'll see. They might have a day or two or three to talk about it, but they're going to draw as much time as they can. We know that. We're hearing rumors. Again, it's New York Times that posted this. They wouldn't know. The U.S. and Israel preparing to renew attacks on Iran next week. I mean, probably. That's just good speculation. We've got a lot of stuff and equipment in the area. We could very easily do that. We'll see. Finally, just this kind of fun woo stuff. And 4 alien species, they're telling us, have apparently come out or been pulled from crashed UFOs, the ex-government researcher has claimed. They had, the Nordics, the Greys, the Insectoids, and the Reptilians. If you guys follow any of that stuff, that should make sense. The Greys are kind of, that's the one that most people kind of associate with the big giant eyes. They're usually really short. Nordics are usually very, very white, like people, generally 6-footish. They tend to have almost a glow about them, I've heard. Insectoids are very similar to praying mantis, I think. And then reptilians are very interesting. Reptilians are shapeshifters too. They're a lot of fun. So anyway, a lot of people wonder too how many of these things have just been living here as long as we've been here. And there's a possibility of that too. Many say the fallen angels, maybe. I don't think that's totally true. I think we, again, paint with broad brushes. It's generally not usually accurate. All said. A lot is happening. A lot is going on. I've got my new show starting. I'm going to promo that a bunch this coming week. But Thursdays when I start that, it's going to be 3 p.m. Pacific time, the live. There will be a call-in feature. Right now it's going to be link for sure. I've still got to play around with how there's a phone number. Alpha knows how to do that, but I'll see if I can get a little of his time. He's a busy guy, so I don't like to ask him stupid questions. I'm still researching. I might be able to figure it out. But right now, I've got a guaranteed link that I can share, and then you guys can just click on that, and you can call with your phone, call with your computer. It's totally cool. You need a microphone. You don't have to have a camera, I don't believe. But it'll be fun. It'll add some interesting. It's going to be called Hot Topics on the Fringe. I'm going to just grab maybe a story or two that caught my attention of the week, do a little maybe deep dive into it a little bit, and then, take some questions, spend some time with you guys, but ultimately, try to sort of vet out some of these things. I'm going to have some guests on. It should be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys will join me for that. It'll be Thursdays, and then Tuesday, starting the week after, I'm going to have the same show, basically. It's not identical. It's going to be different topics. But the Tuesday show is going to be premium, Rumble. users. So if you guys don't have a premium account, I think it's like $5 a month or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's what I pay. And that gets you like no commercials. So that's huge for those of you, especially that bitch about how much commercials there are on Rumble. So it'll be a way to get into this show. It's going to be a bit of a smaller audience. I'm not going to stream it to all the different platforms. So that'll be kind of fun. The Tuesday show I'm kind of looking forward to. I think it's going to be a little more quaint and small and beautiful. So we'll see. But it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll be talking about stuff, and you'll be able to call in on that as well. So again, a lot happening. I love you guys. We're going to keep fighting this fight, and I'm going to keep stepping through this with you guys every step of the way. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.